Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. You cannot buy purity with a plate of rice. Ooni of Ife allegedly reject last-minute dinner apology from Ebony and Igbis. Now, what is going on? You know, with all the struggles and everything that Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi has, been through together, it's been really, really tough, okay, for them, knowing that people that were supposed to be your support system, supposed to love you, like you all agreed, have turned against you. Even though they knew that there was a woman before they came in, they did everything within their power to stop it, even though they knew that, it has to do with destiny. The destiny has to be aligned and all of that. They didn't want. It was all about their own selfish interest. Kabiyesi went through so much, even at the dying minute. Elders that he also trusted would be there for him disappointed him just because they were taking orders from some of these women. And right now, everything went on well. You want to prepare a dinner. They said Igbis and Ebony had prepared a dinner. The dinner was meant to welcome Ooni of Ife and welcome Queen Naomi, okay, back to the palace. Like it was a very quiet dinner that was meant to welcome Queen Naomi back into the palace and also to appreciate Ooni for his effort and all of that. Ooni had been informed earlier that there would be a dinner, a surprise dinner, was going to hold in this regard. And Ooni ignored all of them because he knew that he wasn't going to do anything. At the time, Naomi was in the palace. Remember that Naomi had gone into the palace to appreciate the elders who stood for her, okay? There were some elders that stood for her through thick and thin and all of that. So she thought it wise to come from the royal mansion to be with them and to appreciate them, okay? And so this was what happened. And Nami was inside the chamber with the Ooni of Ife. They had come to call Kabiyesi that everything was ready for them to come downstairs. And that was when Kabiyesi said you can't buy purity with a plate of rice, that he wasn't interested. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dela Ram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the south. And still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you so much. I love you and share adukwe, my people. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell. And do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. They said the evening was set. The royal dining, glowed with scented candles, glittering lights, and a dinner table that could, rival any state, banquet. Ebony and Igbis had gone all out, freshly cooked dishes from the palace, finest chef, decorations laced with peacock feathers and white roses symbolizing peace and purity. But behind all the outward show of reconciliation was a desperate attempt, an apology masked as hospitality, a bid to regain lost relevance in a new era that clearly no longer needed them. They said Ebony and Igbis, of course, had gone ahead to prepare this dinner after, they had conspired and schemed at different times to erase Queen Naomi's memory from the royal circle. But ever since Queen Naomi's spiritual return, especially after the successful full moon ritual that restored her place beside the Ooni of Ife tide had turned, and quickly the atmosphere around the palace shifted. Elders began to bow, the spirit aligned, and the Ooni himself began to make decisions that showed clearly who sat closest to the heart, okay? Naomi was no longer the outsider. Naomi is right there with the Ooni of Ife, allowed to go and come as pleased, and all of that, though they are not yet in that place where they can begin to go out together. But Naomi has reclaimed what was almost lost, the heart of the Ooni of Ife, and everybody knows that right now. They said before this time, the Oloris, that is Igbis and, Ebony, had sent out invites to key palace elders. They informed Ooni's father. They even personally called Dr. Lizzie, okay? Of course, they called some people, but underestimated the level of silence that would greet their effort. The Oni never responded to the invite. Dr. Lizzie didn't utter a word. The palace guard only nodded formally without assurance till Ebony and Igbis, believed the food would speak. The sitting would melt heart, and maybe, just maybe, they could rewrite their wrongs without uttering the depth, of their past betrayals. They say, as at that evening, okay, in fact, the table had been prepared, everything had been prepared, and they thought that, this is it. And Kabiyesi was going to come down with Queen Naomi for them to have that dinner, but what greeted them was a big disappointment. Inside the palace apartment, Queen Naomi remained beside the Oni. Word had reached them about the dinner. Ooni of Ife didn't flinch. He continued speaking softly to Naomi, discussing plans for a royal outreach. He never dressed up. He didn't acknowledge the gathering. He simply said, Naomi will not mix with anyone whose word once cost her destiny, and with that, he sealed the night. They said that, time passed, the food steamed. The Oriki poets were there, doing their traditional things that they used to do, waiting for Kabiyesi to come out. For where? Kabiyesi didn't come out. Ebony kept looking at the, entrance, that is the gate from the chambers, adjusting her wrapper, hoping to see a royal guard announce His Majesty's arrival. They say Kabiyesi did not come out. They say Igbis, drenched in perfume, sat silently, maybe just rehearsing the speech she was going to give to Kabiyesi, because the dinner was to apologize for everything that they had done to Olori Naomi, to welcome. When you bring a wife to the palace, they are collectively supposed to welcome that wife. They wanted to welcome Olori Naomi back and also congratulate Kabiyesi, to show love and to show concern, and that was why this dinner was prepared. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. Kabiyesi was not interested. Like nothing. It was, in fact, there was not interested. It was at this moment, Ebony tried calling the private palace line that is upstairs. No answer. She tried Dr. Lizzie. Still no answer. That was when reality hit. The silence was the answer. Not just a rejection of dinner, but a rejection of presence. Ebony broke down first. Her loud wail pierced the royal courtyard. Igbis also, more composed, simply began to sob quietly into her lace. Okay, the elders, confused but cautious, stood and began to leave one after the other. The message was clear. This dinner was not endorsed. This moment was not, royal. It is a cry for attention from two women who had played with fire and thought time would erase the bonds. They say Kabiyesi did not come out. While Igbis and Ebony, they were still seated. They said they now saw Kabiyesi and Olori Naomi. They came. Now, when they came, they were not coming for the dinner. They were coming basically to go and use the chopper and go to, I think, Ibadan, where they will fly to Lagos. That was what happened. That it was so heartbreaking and all of that. But my thing is that, why do you go and organize a dinner? Who knows waiting they don't put there this time? But they not fit put anything, nothing go work. Iyanifa don't fortify everywhere. As a matter of fact, they no fit. Nothing they fit do again. There is nothing they can do. Sorry about that sound. There's just nothing they can do. They know that they cannot do anything. That's why they have resolved to dialogue right now. It's now you want to dialogue. If you have ruined these people's life, would you have been able to dialogue? This is what we are hearing. They say Bonnie cried and cried. Igbis cried and cried, though. But of course, that was what happened. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget. These are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.